everyone, welcome back to The Media and You. It's been a while, but welcome back. In today's video, we will be discussing master narratives from the mass media. A master narrative, in my own definition, is a story or an idea or a theory or a behavior that a large number of people agree with or follow. Of course, I will be going into more detail about master narratives further on into the video. If this is something you're interested in, please keep watching. As I said, master narrative is a concept that is accepted by a large amount of people, and these narratives are presented to us everywhere, every single day, even through the media that we choose, whatever media that may be, social media, newspaper, TV. Those are media outlets we choose, but even the ones we don't choose, we are constantly and continually gathering all this information that creates narratives in our ideas, in our individuality. And these stories and these ideas, they come from basically anything that has an idea, which is everything. A good example of this is the Disney movies. I wrote about an essay on this, how a lot of the Disney movies are constructed in the damsel in distress and a princess comes to save them, or Disney princesses are looking some sort of way or behave a certain way versus the princess. There are a lot of narratives there. For example, that women should stay at home and clean in house. Example, Snow White. The men should go home and should go out and work, get the money, bring the food. That's the Seven Dwarfs. And a lot of other examples come to mind, but that in itself is a master narrative. So just sticking on the topic of Snow White, we're gonna butcher it today, but the master narrative presented in Snow White shows children that the woman or the female is supposed to stay at home. They're supposed to clean, they're supposed to cook, they're supposed to make sure everything is in order, and the man is supposed to, of course, go to work. And one thing I'd like to know about Snow White is that the only reason the seven dwarves let her in the house was because she cooked for them. So that in itself gives out a master narrative, creating these stories this circle of an idea of that women should act this way or men should act this way, which is incorrect, of course. Another master narrative that I've constantly seen in our media, of course, on films, on TV shows, and this is actually something I heard of a teacher speaking about, who wasn't even my teacher, but I thought it was extremely interesting and it applied to the topic we're talking about today. And he noted that in a lot of TV shows, men attack the women, not attack, but they kiss the women without permission. And the women, at first, they struggle or they try to push away, but in the end, they're like, oh yes, please kiss me, or, things like that. And I strongly believe that really influences the culture that I've heard about, especially with my friends who they say they go out to clubs and they say this guy wouldn't, get off their back, or when they said no, they insisted. I'm sure we've all heard stories about that. But thinking critically about these master narratives that the media shows to us, could they possibly be influencing the way we're behaving? I leave that question to you guys, and I hope you guys contemplate that. With that being said, I do want to state that it's obviously not just Snow White or that one TV show that my teacher saw on his media outlets, but it is the continual exposure to those type of messages that create these master narratives. And I'm sure we've all seen a pattern in the way we see things online and how people are behaving And believe it or not, that subconsciously gets into our minds, and we may start to relate to those ideas or even start to act a similar way. So in the end, a master narrative can definitely be beneficial, but it can definitely be very negatively impactful. And that all depends on what kind of story or what kind of behavior it is influencing or talking about. So being more mindful about these master narratives, that they are out there, they are constantly being thrown at us whether we realize it or not. You know, these master narratives kind of basically have created a part of how we behave and even the way we think. I know as a woman that a master narrative that has been created in me is that I have to be careful when I'm walking out in public in the dark. With men, it could be that when they're next to a car at a red light and the guy, assuming that it's a guy and that they want to race or something like that. But even my own assumption that it's two men that are about to race is a master narrative in itself, because I've seen it so much in the media that it's always two men, and we've never really seen it when it's a woman or a female. So even things as small as that are master narratives, and they create images in our head. Like, for example, what do you think of when I say a Victorian dress or a corset or high heels? You think of a woman, because obviously that's something that's culturally bound to that gender. Or when I say pants, maybe not pants, but trousers or button-up shorts or shirts or polos, you may think of a man. If I were to describe a serious, stern, skinny, tall, someone who's wearing glasses, what gender is in your head? Is it a woman or is it a man? And I want you guys to just think about what your answer is and why you came up with that answer. Is it because of just because you thought about it? Or is it because society has embedded that mass communication in you? I first heard that example of that tall, stern, serious, person. I thought of a man. And that's because society has created these messages that that's how men are, or that's how a manager is. So we think of a man. And just thinking critically about all these ideas or all these messages that we embrace, that we see every day, we can control how it influences us. By seeing the world with a clearer lens that master narratives are out there and they do influence us one way or another, it can definitely change the way we behave towards different people or family members, or basically anyone, because it breaks the boundaries that society has given us, which of course is honestly a really great thing, because it expands our thoughts and our own beliefs, and it can break stereotypes, which of course is beneficial to society. I really hope that this message and this discussion was of benefit to you guys, and you guys learned something new today. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out in the comment section. I am open and available to anything you would like to discuss. Just let me know. Until the next video, thank you so much for watching. Be well.